All right. Hopefully the mic is at a good level. All right. We are transcribing Amy Beach today, and I have it on my other screen, so I don't think you can see that. But we're going to transcribe this piece, the romance, Opus 23. I think it's Opus 23, right? Yep. And this is going to be for an engraving challenge later, so this will be fun. Oops. I don't usually transcribe pieces like this. Hopefully my keyboard isn't too obnoxious. I have my mic quite close. See if that helps at all. Oops. Do you write in the slurs as you're doing the notes? Not really. Sometimes I do. That's not very common though for me, because I just always when I initially learned it, I do it in a second pass. Now I am intentionally not doing any actual engraving for this, like making it pretty and anything, because the whole point of this is that this is going to be like a raw template that other people can use, because we're going to have an engraving challenge soon in the group. So I'm literally just transcribing the notes. I'm not really doing anything else to it. Oops. wonder where this thing can show me how many people are actually watching at once. I don't think there is. Challenge in music engraving tips, the Facebook group. On Facebook, that's where the majority of the activity for music engraving tips happens. But I wanted to try out YouTube today. I don't think we've ever really streamed on YouTube before, so. Wow, this is annoying. No, you can't see the original. The original has a lot of Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at my other screen here, and it has an analytics screen, and I can actually see what's going on. Okay, that's good. 11 people watching. Good. That's nice. Alright. Probably hear all the chaos in the background. My son is supposed to be having his supper right around now. Alright, so bottom voice. If you have any questions of what I'm doing or whatever, you can just ask them in the chat, I guess. Ooh, there's a strange one. So this is supposed to all be slurred together like that. That's not going to work very well. Yeah, I've been working from home since the COVID thing started in March. So what is that? It's been 2.5 months now of working from home. Usually I would commute into Manhattan, but yeah, it's been a bit of an adventure. I'm going to put in the pedal markings as they are in the original, which uses the star. I'm not necessarily going to say that's a good or a bad thing, because I'm just trying to transcribe what's already here, and then engrave the people who want to do the challenge, they can make it better. That's a dotted. Oops. Good. If anyone wants to follow along on the original, this is Amy Beach Romance. The Amy Beach Romance, Opus 23, I think. So it's for violin and piano. And I'm still on page 1. And there's 13 pages. This is not going to be an overnight or a quick one. A lot of these offbeats. Definitely has a bit of a Schumann influence to it. No, I'm using my just my computer keyboard. No MIDI keyboard involved. I haven't, I mean, I do have one, but I don't have it like hooked up to my computer or anything because I've never needed it. I've um, always been able to do it manually with the computer keyboard. And this keyboard in particular, it's a Corsair gaming keyboard or whatever. So the switches have like, or the switches and the keys have like a very light actuation to them. So it actually makes me go a lot faster. I don't know how much that is really affecting my speed or not, but it feels like it's faster. I don't know if it actually is. Alright, so that's the end of the first page for the piano part. Let's do the violin part. Yeah. Okay, here we go. You should be able to hear the notes coming through in the background. I missed it earlier. Is this piece used for engraving challenge? Yes. So I'm just transcribing this so that we have a template to work with. And it's just going to have all the notes and all the rhythms and everything. And then I'm going to give this to people. Either in Sibelius or XML, whatever. But I'm not going to do any work to it. It's just going to be the basic raw thing. And then people can engrave it, essentially. Do the work of making it look nice. And we'll critique each other's scores. I think it'll be fun. Kind of similar to the challenges in Orchestration Online. Any of you are part of that group, where Thomas Goss does critique on orchestrations. This is a similar idea. It's just not critiquing orchestration; it's critiquing engraving. Right now I'm just doing this in Sibelius because that's what I know, that's what I do. Okay, I think I'm just going to keep going with this violin part. I think I've got that all. Yep. I'm just going to keep going with the violin part. Dig through the whole thing. Transcribing Baroque violin sonatas. What I've been doing lately, or not just lately, but for several years now, is I have been transcribing the Bach cantatas. Now that's what it would usually do in one of these live streams. Ooh, okay. Whoops. Nice. Okay. There's an on tempo right there. There's a poco rit right there. Okay, I've got a lot of dynamics and stuff to fill in here, so what did I miss? Satisfying how fast you can punch in the notes. Yes, I know. It's satisfying to me too, and I know that sounds a little bit like hubris, but you know, whatever. It makes using the program a lot more enjoyable because I don't have to do a lot of the grunt work nonsense. I get to focus more on the cool things. Do I have my... Well, I used to. I used to have a shortcut for my double sharp. But I don't know. It's not working for some reason. I have to look into that. Then we have animato. Let's put that as an expression. Oh, poor mister. Okay, I think that's all good. There's a slur there. Sostenuto. There we go. Beautiful. Pokedim, blah, 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 blah. Okay, good. We can keep going. There are 3 bars. Rest. Nope. Good. Oops. Just gonna check on. Sorry, I'm just adding a, sharing the thing around. Oh. Since we're hearing the notes as they're punched in, what a way to listen to people. Yeah. Could you maybe give a tutorial and post on how to punch in the notes clear? There isn't really much to say other than practice. What the hell is going on over there? Not sure I want to know. Another animato. Yeah, it's just a matter of practice, honestly. Like I've been practicing this skill for, I don't know, 15 years already. So it's like you just get used to it. You get used to the muscle memory of it. And I'm not perfect at like entry, but I can do it fast. That is true. I need D sharp, E sharp. One thing that absolutely does help, and it's a separate skill, but you wouldn't think of it right away, is actually the speed of the reading of the music. Because if as I'm you know, typing things in, I have to translate what I'm seeing in the original to that is that particular note, and therefore I'm going to press these buttons, right? So being able to read a score very quickly and accurately is really important for speed, definitely. I am keeping. Are the slurs and ties program defaults? I'm doing everything program defaults today. That's intentional. Usually I would not. I'm literally leaving it as it is because I don't want to put any actual engraving work into this. This is just the raw default thing. Oops. Pew. Tranquillo. Is that correct? Tranquillo. Yep. Probably I will do a I will do another video at some point where I actually show what I would do in engraving this piece, just like how Thomas does his own orchestration. And I'll do that before we get any submissions. Just so there isn't any like bias or anything like that, as best as we can. Oops. Okay, this whole part is octave up. It ends on that D. That's super awkward, and I would not engrave it that way, but that's how the original is. Let's keep going. I'm just going to keep digging through this violin part. I've only got a few more pages. Not a terribly long piece. It's something like 5 minutes long at best. It's probably 150 measures at best. I don't even think it's that long. We shall find out. Oops. It's always interesting to see someone else who's lightning fast at entering data, noticing the quirks of your style is different from my own workflow. Yes, that's you know, one thing I have not done is really try and like hone my entry skills. You know, like I make some really dumb mistakes sometimes when I'm entering, and I've just never bothered to like train myself out of those mistakes. So it's not the most efficient. It does require more key presses sometimes, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't really bother me too much. All right, we have, okay, that's a little confusing. Yeah, I think that's what it's in the original. It looks like this with no bracket. That is super confusing. How about I leave that there and we'll see who changes it. That's what the original looks like. That's a little confusing. I would not do that today. It's also different the second time. Actually, I don't think it is. That's probably the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. There's several of these, so I'm going to do them all that way. Okay, now it goes into triplet land. So we got slur there. There's a crescendo going through here. Okay, these are beamed together. I'm just gonna do that. I want to see what happens. Who's going to correct that or not? That's a good example. Okay, and then there's also an accelerando. Oops. There we go. Good. Next. Nope. It goes there. Sostenuto. Very good. Sorry, those are supposed to be tenutos. Oh, there we go. Let me see where I left off here. So this is AVA. Then we have that. That's all good, good. And then right here we have sol D. Sorry, sol D, which goes up to there. So I guess I can just put a bracket or something. How about a dash line? That works. And then right here it goes sol G through quite a large passage. The slur going into measure 40. Did I see you instinctively just the end down? You know what? That one not so. Why is my keyboard doing this? See, sometimes the keyboard freaks out. I need to check on that. Yeah, I did. I'll put it back. Yes, I did. Sometimes this just I get in the habit. Beaming eighth notes in 3/4 and 2/4. Do you beam the entire measure together or beam in groups of 2? Why? That's complicated. Because it depends on the situation. I mean, I think for the most part, certainly in 3/4, groups of 6 and groups of 4/8 are totally fine. I'm also, 2/4, I'm not as big of a fan of groups of 4, but I don't see why you couldn't get away with it. I just like that the groups of 2 more quickly show the 2 beats, but I don't think it's I don't really feel strongly either way. If you want to be super strict to the to the strict rules of the beam parsing rule, which that was my last video, then 2/4 should be groups of 4, because it's exactly the same as two measures of 4/4 just glued together. Or a 2/4 would be half a measure of 4/4, right? So that's totally fine, because that has nothing to do with it being 2/4. So there's like 2 separate rules about beaming stuff that kind of get in conflict with each other there, about trying to make the meter clear and then the group parsing rule. I need to actually come up with an official name for that thing. Well, it's not like I invented the concept. The concept was built into music notation for centuries already, but I don't know if it's really been codified in the same way that I did in that video, which was the point. I think there's a lot of confusion over it, and beams joining 2 or 3 beats may also be separated to indicate change of pitch pattern. Yeah, I know. Beaming is really complicated. There's a lot of rules flying around, and I think a lot of people get really dogmatic about it. I'm guilty of that myself. I tend to like very strict beam patterns according to meter. I don't at all like breaking that. But there are very occasionally situations where that's very advantageous. So sometimes maybe you want to do that. I don't know. Every engraver has their own standards that they have to figure out where their rules that they agree with and then stick to them. Oops. Let's get some more bars in here. For example, just to give you an example, right? If I had a passage that looked like that, right? It's very common to see something like that, where the eighth is separated from the upper ones, and this is a pretty extreme case. And Sibelius is actually doing this somewhat incorrectly because the A down here is actually further away from the middle. That beam should go up. If you keep to that rule of the furthest away, that's actually, it solves a lot of problems rather than going by majority, right? Because this looks much worse than this, right? Of course, the more old-fashioned way would be something like this. But there's very few cases where you can actually get the full octave line there. This would need to be there, right? So you need a full 2 octaves before that can actually be really good. Because I've often seen things like this, and that's not acceptable at all. The stems are far too short. Anyway, that's a little tangent. Let me see where I was here. Oh, that's E sharp. Sorry. Nope. Get my clef screwed up here, I think. Okay, so I need slur there, slur there, slur there. Yeah, okay. Oh god, here we go. With the triplets again. Oh. No. Sostenuto. Let's put an accelerando in there. And it goes up to what? Right there? Yep. My scrolling is broken. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure what happened to my scrolling. Something's broken on there. I'll figure it out later. Like my scroll wheel isn't running anymore. I don't know why. Very strange. Alright, so where were we here? So we have this crazy trill. This whole thing is AVA. So I gotta get that in there. There's supposed to be a crescendo here. Put that in there. And I need a couple grace notes. They are on that side of the bar. And that's an F double sharp. Good. Okay. Oops. Not Q notes. Why did that happen? Will your challenge also include creating the violin part where there might not be as many? Yeah, probably. Because they do have different like requirements. Yeah, it does. 8 key presses. Okay, we're almost done. I think this is the last page. So G, not F. There is no F string. Okay. And there's an odd tempo right here. Oh, my son is yelling. Doesn't really show where the sol G ends, which is a little bit annoying. Weird. Yeah, James should be going to bed pretty soon here. Okay, 1 bar of rest. Oh, there's still another page coming. Okay. I thought we were at the end, but we're not. This seemed like such a neat and tidy climb down to the end, to the tonic, but nope, we have a whole nother page. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, it's the wrong octave. And oop, there's a triplet there and I almost missed it. Okay, but there is an 8VA there. Pianissimo and sempre poco a poco written. Okay, I'm just going to throw that as an expression, and people can change that if they want. Okay, and that is the last bar right there. Okay, and that's an 8VA all the way to the end. And Alfine. Good. Alright. Let's fill in some of this piano part now. That's the end of the violin part, so it is about 119 measures, so it's not short, but it's not long either. Alright, so I'm going to start on the last page here and just fill in this piano part. It's got triplets everywhere, but it never actually switches to like 12/8 or anything, it's just triplets. So this will be fun. So dotted half. There we go. And that's invoice 1. Oh goodness, that is the most romantic sounding chord ever. That 5/7 with the suspended third on it like that. That is extremely romantic, period. I kind of like it. Love that sound. Okay, there's a nice little trill. Okay, so there's more under here. Sorry. I'm going to keep these as 30 seconds like they are in the original. And people can change them if they want. And we have a couple of these. And that is pianissimo. Okay, there's a pedal there, and a pedal there, and now let's fill in the rest of this upper part. Go. Oops. And then the bottom part. Oh. Good. It's incredible how messy this gets if you just put the 3s everywhere. Okay. Let's hear what that sounds like. Cute. It's probably too fast. I don't think that's the right tempo at all. Okay. of that is AVA. Alright, I am back. Here we go. Okay. Let's get all these portato slurs going on there. Nope. Treble clef right there. Nice. And there we go. That's the end of that page. This has a Morendo next to it. Triple P. Yep, that should do the job. Okay, so that's the last page. I'm just going to keep going a little bit further here. Do a couple more pages, but I think then I'll cut the stream off. Where's this page start? Right there. Whoops, that's not correct. Does that. Very therapeutic. Isn't that weird? So watching someone like just enter things in Sibelius. Oops. There we go. Okay. Two. Nice tritone sub-ish thing going on there. Dominant flat 5. It's pretty Debussy. Well, not quite Debussy, but like that's definitely, you can definitely tell Amy Beach is later romantic, because I don't know if that would fly in like Schubert. Okay, let's do the other hands, and then I think we'll call it a day for now, because this is my birthday, so I don't want to be doing this like all night. Oops. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. She puts the tune in the bass part. That little counter melody, that's in the bass part there. Wasn't expecting that. There we go. Okay. There's also a dim. So put that there. Rit Molto. Already got that. Yep, that's it. That's it for that page. Here you can see the original I have going on here. You can see what's going on. I don't know what the hell happened to my scroll wheel. But yeah. This is the original from the IMSLP. So, yeah. This will be a work in progress, but this should be done within like a couple days. I don't have much. And obviously I got to fill in all this piano part, but I don't think that'll take very long. Just have to dive through it. It's all of these stupid triplets that take a while because they're a bit trickier to enter in, but I don't know, whatever, that's life. So I'm gonna sign off now. It's been about an hour, so thank you all for watching. Those of you who are left, I think it says there's 4. Yeah. And we'll do this again. Talk to you next time.